Look at a standard stock chart, and you'll see what looks like pure chaos. Prices jump up and down, tracing out a jagged, unpredictable line that seems to follow no logical rules. Trying to predict the market by only staring at that line is a lot like trying to navigate a sprawling, crowded city strictly from the ground level. You are surrounded by noise, and without a map, every turn feels completely random. Back in the 1920s, a financial advisor named W.D. Gann found himself in the middle of that exact same noise. He spent his days observing the frantic, screaming crowds on the trading floors. But Gann observed something the crowd missed. He believed that markets are not actually chaotic. Instead, he argued they are driven by predictable mathematical cycles. To see those hidden cycles, Gann realized you have to stop looking at the market as a flat, linear chart. You have to lift off the street, take a helicopter view, and look at the market as a geometric map. Gann dealt his map on graph paper. We start by placing the number 1 perfectly in the center block. From there, subsequent numbers do not travel in a straight line. Instead, they spiral outward clockwise, wrapping tightly around that center block, ring after ring. This diagram shows a pattern forming along the lower left diagonal. Notice the numbers 9, 25, 49, 81. These are odd square numbers, like 3 squared, 5 squared, and so on. Here, an odd square number always marks the exact completion of a 360-degree rotation. And if we look at this next diagram, the exact opposite happens on the upper right diagonal axis. Here, we see the even square numbers lining up perfectly, 4, 16, 36, and 64. By simply winding a sequence of numbers into a spiral, a random string of digits transforms into a structured geometric architecture. The square numbers create exact, predictable anchors. We use those anchors to build scaffolding. Connecting the corners of the grid directly through those odd and even squares forms a large X, called the diagonal cross. Next, we bisect the square horizontally and vertically, creating the cardinal cross. To understand why these lines matter, consider a trading concept called support. Think of it as an invisible floor. Falling prices hit it. They abruptly stop and forcefully bounce back up. Resistance acts as an invisible ceiling, stopping rising prices. Gann's theory is that the specific numbers falling exactly on the diagonal and cardinal crosses act as these invisible floors and ceilings. These lines act as the major intersections on our city map. They allow a trader to anticipate exactly where a price movement is likely to encounter one of these mathematical boundaries. Let's take this abstract theory and apply it to a real-world market. This is a chart showing the performance of the 500 largest companies in the US market. Notice the specific point where the price bottoms out. It falls, halts, and makes a sharp pivot at the value of 49. Look back at our spiral map. 49 sits firmly on the lower left line of the diagonal cross. Because it rests on that intersection, it aligns with a strong support floor, catching the falling price. From that floor, the market bounces upward, eventually forming a peak before falling again. Its next major low happens right at the value of 81. 81 isn't a random number. On our geometric map, it's the very next odd square number occupying that exact same diagonal angle as 49. These turning points aren't just isolated events. They occur at values that match the specific support and resistance geometry of the Square of Nine. The market moves in price, but it also moves through time, sweeping forward like the hands of a clock. This diagram shows the complete Square of Nine map, revealing its final layer, a compass measuring exactly 360 degrees around the outer perimeter of the grid. As the numbers spiral outward from the center, every time they complete a full 360-degree rotation, they represent a completed phase or a full market cycle. Compare that original, jagged, confusing line chart to the organized structure of the Square of Nine. While the market will always retain an element of unpredictability, tools like this suggest that beneath the visible noise might lie a geometric logic, mapping out both price and time.